when we joined the Royal Scot at Carlisle to take us into Glasgow, and of course the track winded a bit, of course, and Jonah Jones was on the footplate, you know, getting the driver and the stoker and all this stuff. And there wasn't enough light. So Harry said, look, oh boy, will you, Pat, go up on the coal tender, will you, get as high as you can and try and get the reflector to get onto the engine room here, you know. So up I climbed, sat on as comfortable a perch as I could on the top of the coal, and got my reflector board. And I think the sun was quite good because we were going straight north, and the sun was, I think, to the east that moment. So I got some nice light on it, and we were going quite level. But of course I'd forgotten there were such things as bridges, you see. And the next thing I knew, that my reflector, just above my head, was cut in half, sliced like that. Fortunately, I was unscalped. But so I held the remnant up of the thing as I could, and we got down, but I ducked my head a bit more. We got that down, we got the footplate stops done. Then we took close-ups of the driver on the lines of order saying, the climb is done, down towards the Glasgow, she descends, etc., on the stoker. And then the stoker said, would you like to have a go, Pat? They all talked in this lovely accent, because we weren't filming at the moment. So I said, yes, I'd love to. And by golly, I only had to talk 5 shovelfuls, and I was done. You know, because the boiler's about 15, 20 foot long and 10 foot wide. You've got to put an even spread of coal throughout the whole lot. You've got to be as strong as an ox to keep that going throughout the journey. And I thought, by God, does one appreciate a stoker, let alone the postman. And you suddenly realise, the more you started to look at England, how wonderful the English people were, but nobody knows anything about them. And that is, of course, half the job of the documentary.
But Louis Lumière had a tremendous idea, which after, like, few weeks after the first screening in Paris, he is recruiting operators, which he will send all around the world to film the world. Just compare that philosophy with, I don't know which moguls in Hollywood said, a tree is a tree, shoot it in Griffith Park. Which was later on. And how much, I mean, the difference between the two ideas. The difference between somebody who is completely protectionist. We don't have to discover the world. The world is there in California. Or Lumière was sending people in Egypt, Russia, Israel, Turkey, America, and you have in July 1895 people of Shanghai, in the harbor of Shanghai, discovering films about Berlin, about Lyon, about Paris, but about Berlin, about Moscow, about China. I mean, that, I see something which has never been praised enough, that action, which is the opposite of the bourgeois conception of the world, which is very, you must stay at home. And it's part of the success of that was that interest for the world. They brought the world to the world.